How long do you stick with a rookie in a slump? This is the question that all of us face, especially those of us who like to mess around with Sims and play in our own world. It's kind of hard to tell when it's time to cut the string and let them loose. Well, as of the filming of this video, Jackson Holliday with the Orioles is in a big slump. He's hitting .059 this season with a 170 OPS in 36 plate appearances. Now, I know sample size and all that, but no matter what stat you use, that's going to look pretty bad. He has 2 hits in 36 plate appearances. So what do you do with him? Do you stick him down to the minors? Do you keep him up at the big league and try to get him to grow into it? Now, history might be a guide of what we should do. Some people online reminded me of Willie Mays. Now, as you know, Mays tore the cover off the ball. He played minor leagues in 1950 and then was up in Minneapolis in early 1951. The New York Giants pulled him up on May 25th, 1951. Mays was hitting .477 for Minneapolis when he was pulled up. So it was pretty obvious why Leo Durocher wanted him. This transaction was front page news in Minneapolis, and there were all sorts of articles about him even after he left. In fact, there were more articles about Willie Mays in Minneapolis than there were in New York in late May 1951. The reason why? He famously was 1 for 22 for the Giants. His lone hit, however, was a home run off of Warren Spahn. Warren Spahn later remarked that he wished he would have gotten Mays out. Maybe they could have kept him out of the National League. But the interesting thing is that the famous New York press and the papers didn't ride Mays, at least not from what I saw. Leo Durocher was going to stick with Mays and that was it, and I think everybody knew it. Now contrast Mays with Cal Abrams of the 1949 Dodgers. You guys remember what I've said about Abrams, right? With my 49 Dodgers and how I won't start him. Abrams not only beat out Gene Hermansky for the left field role in spring training, but he also wound up hitting leadoff for the Dodgers in early 1949. This was despite Hermansky having a pretty productive year in 1948, and despite Brooklyn papers noting that Hermansky looked better than Abrams did in spring training. But Cal Abrams was the native Brooklyn kid, and that's what they wanted. Abrams only lasted 31 plate appearances and 2 hits before they sent him down to Fort Worth. Now, of course, Cal had a chance and he came back, but it took him a little while. All of them, in fact, might feel happy that they got at least some kind of chance. Jackson Holliday has had much more of a chance than Hunky Shaw ever did. You remember Hunky Shaw? I've talked about him a couple of times. He was a star hitter and a speedster with Tacoma, Washington in the old Pacific Coast League. I mean, the real old Northwest League. Back in 1906 and 1907. Now, the Pittsburgh Pirates drafted him and bought him for $1,000 in late 1907, brought him up in 1908 with a little bit of fanfare. He was fast and he had a good glove and he could hit. Then they gave him 1 plate appearance and that was it. Shaw's only major league plate appearance was a strikeout. In fact, most of the games that we play will list him only as a pinch hitter since he didn't actually play in the field. So Jackson Holliday, keep your chin up. I mean, it could be worse.